Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and it's that time of the year for some special holiday Christmas movie in-depth reviews, and I'm excited. We're gonna start this off by deep diving into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And obviously this is one of those classic 1989 Chevy Chase, just one of those films that if you haven't seen it, you're missing out on one of those just great comedy Christmas classic movies. Now, it is written by one of my all-time favorite writers and directors, but it's written and produced by John Hughes, and it has some just great feeling to it overall as a film. And there's so many elements in it that work so well, and it's got a lot of slapstick humor and things like that, but it's such a just enjoyable Christmas classic that my family dives into each and every year. Well, today we're going to be doing my exclusive 4K versus the original Blu-ray image comparisons that I do exclusively here on my YouTube channel, to show you the quality of this in comparison to the previous Blu-ray releases, to let you know if this is something you should actually buy and upgrade to. And that's always the biggest thing that a lot of people are curious about, and that's always what I am. Is it worth me spending the money on this, and is this worth actually adding to my collection, or should I keep the previous Blu-ray releases? And then at the end, I'll wrap it up with my review score that lets you know how this compares to hundreds of other 4Ks I've exclusively tested and reviewed here on this YouTube channel. Now, the goal this year is to hit 10,000 subscribers, and the only way I can hit that goal is if you go down there and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a like for me, so that way we can hit the goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year and keep growing this great community. Now, to start off with here, I'm going to start off showing you the native images pulled from the 2015 Blu-ray release. Now, there's numerous covers that were released of that, and that actually was the 25th anniversary release that they did a new release of it in 2015. There was steelbooks and then standard edition Blu-rays, and I'm going to show you some of those case artworks over here so you can kind of see some of those, but there was numerous of them. Now, there was a previous Blu-ray before that, and I've owned each edition here. The reason I'm showing you the 25th anniversary 2015 release is the 2015 release had big improvements over the previous Blu-ray release that was released many years before that. The previous release that was many years before the 2015 was very, very poor. It had numerous things like horribly low bit rate, it had some judder, some stutter, digital noise. So there were so many things wrong with it that Warner Brothers went back and did a higher bit rate and things like that for the 2015 25th anniversary Blu-ray release, which is all these cover arts you see over here. So if you own any of the cover artworks that aren't here, which are the previous release before the 2015, then you're obviously dealing with the worst release of all of them in the first place. So obviously when you see the differences between this and the native 4K that we're going to get to here, you'll see the differences and then be able to determine what the big differences are between them. But the 2015 is what we're using here because that is the newest Blu-ray release that had the best image presentation of the Blu-rays of Christmas Vacation. To give you a better accurate comparison between what the quality is between that release compared to the new 4K Ultra HD release, it does have drastic differences. This does have such a better color grading to it. Overall, the new 4K scan they did from the original 35mm film elements really produced a really healthy improvement in the image quality. Though I am going to touch on something that some people might not understand. The original film was intended to have a softer appearance with kind of like an almost dreamlike, kind of almost hazy appearance to a lot of the film. That's never going to disappear because that was intentional with how it was filmed with lenses and things like that, that even though they're going back and scanning the original film elements for this new 4K, it still means that some of that haziness and a lot of it, it's still going to be present. But what you will see is that you can see so much more film grain. The film grain is so much more consistent on this. There's not the fluctuations as well as the heavy color fluctuations that were still slightly present in the 2015 Blu-ray. They're gone on this, and it does have a better color grading and looks better color-wise overall as well, especially in skin tones and things like that. Their skin tones and flesh look so much better. Now, as I've explained before, this is always the native image pulled from these discs. it's important to understand something. If your TV is not professionally calibrated or correctly calibrated, you will most likely see a different image than what's intended or the native image that's present on these discs because your TV is not professionally calibrated. And that's where 4K content makes such a big difference over Blu-ray content. Blu-ray content, you could get away with a lot of things that if your TV wasn't correctly calibrated or your 4K player wasn't correctly calibrated, playing regular Blu-ray, you might not have noticed as many differences because the color gamut on the 4K content is so much larger and makes such a big difference with HDR content that it really truly does make a difference. If your TV and player are not correctly calibrated, you will see a different image than what's intended. You could see something that's way darker than what's intended, and that's why I always suggest to get your TV professionally calibrated and correctly calibrated. There are things such as filmmaker mode and things like that on some newer models that have come out in the last 2 years. But if you own one that's previous before that, you would need to get it calibrated on your own to make sure you're seeing the image the way it's intended to be seen on these discs. Now, if you decide you want to buy and pick this up and add this to your collection after hearing my review score at the end and watching this video, make sure to go down to the links I've posted in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. Those take you straight out to Amazon, and I've made it nice and easy for you. Those never cost any of you even a penny extra when you click on those links. But that does help to support this YouTube channel just a little bit. So make sure if you enjoy this content and all the hard work I put into these, make sure to click on those links down below. It takes you straight out to Amazon, and buy through those links down below. Now, the good news is Warner Brothers did retain the original aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. They didn't change it or cut it down at all for this release, so I always appreciate when they don't mess with that. Talking about the audio here, this does get a new remastered DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 mix. And it also gets a 2.0 original theatrical mix. That's an option on it as well. And the nice thing is that new remastered English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 does sound the best that I have ever heard Christmas Vacation sound. I was really impressed with the range and the clarity on it and the depth to the sound and how it really moved around a little bit more in the room than it ever has before. And I thought they did a good job with the effects on it and things like that. And there wasn't the fluctuations that a lot of the previous Blu-rays had in the audio sense either. There's a lot of times in the audio on all of the previous Blu-ray releases, though the 2015 sounded better than the Blu-ray before that, but there was still in the 2015 present some times where someone would talk and it would get really loud when they're talking, then there'd be like an effect afterwards that would get really quiet, or vice versa. The effect would get really loud and then somebody would be talking, it would be really quiet. So you kind of did the thing with the remote up and down, up and down. On this, it's got much better range on it without having those fluctuations where the scene would go really loud or really quiet. So I did really enjoy the new audio mix on this, so that was a nice upgrade over any of the previous Blu-ray releases. Now, this does have English subtitles, Spanish subtitles, and French subtitles, and a couple of others. So if you live in any of those countries and you need those subtitles or you speak those languages, they are available on this as well. Now, talking about the film grain on this, that was something that on all previous releases was very inconsistent. There was a lot of times where either the film grain, you could almost not see it at all, and then it would come back in the next scene where you would see a little bit of clumping or blocking and things like that. So it was very inconsistent on all of the previous releases, though I will say the 2015 did look better than the previous Blu-ray before that. But since we're talking about the 2015, it still had room that it needed more improvements without the clumping or blocking. Well, the good news is on this new release, all of the clumping, blocking, that's all gone. The film grain is very consistent throughout the entire film. There was only some slight fluctuations where you'd see some slight vibrations in it or waves, but they were very, very slight and very, very brief. In comparison to the 2015 Blu-ray, it was a nice upgrade in that because you can see the film grain so much more while retaining more depth to that image. Remember when I was talking about that this film was always kind of a softer or hazily filmed film to kind of give it almost dreamlike experience on it? Well, the nice thing is you can see the best that I've ever seen with details in the backgrounds because of this being a native 4K and the new scan they did. You can actually see quite a bit more than even the 2015 Blu-ray. That really surprised me because I knew how it was filmed. I was curious, you know, even though it still needs to retain some of that slight haziness that kind of gave it that appearance of the film, it retains that, but added so much more nice depth. And the color, man, the color gamut with what they used for the HDR10 on this with the new color grading really does look substantially and drastically improved over the 2015 Blu-ray or any previous Blu-ray before. Now, if you haven't checked out my top 15 Christmas and holiday movies on 4K and Blu-ray video, you're going to want to go check out that video after you get done watching this one. It's got a lot of festive and holiday cheer in it, but it gives you some suggestions and reviews of maybe some Christmas or holiday films you haven't checked out before. It's a really fun video that I did here before, and it's something that gives you a bunch of suggestions of films that maybe you haven't checked out on Blu-ray or 4K before. But I'll post that link up above for you to click on, but at the end you can always click on it as well and go check that out here on my channel. Now, I know a lot of you appreciate when I share a lot of this testing information that I do. Well, I did test out the bitrate, and the rough average bitrate on this was roughly 61 megabits per second, which is a decent average bitrate for it. I would say overall it didn't have too heavy fluctuations throughout it, so it never got extremely high into like the hundreds or 90s. There was a few slight instances. Most of the time it hovered around that 70 to 61 with only some very slight dips down to like the 50s and 40s, but the average was right around that 61, and it looked good throughout it. But again, it is one of those things for a film that came out in 1989, especially with kind of that hazier appearance. It's kind of just a stable bitrate throughout, but not something that's going to knock your socks off bitrate wise. Now, to show you what you get in this, you do get the really nice slipcover. I love the metallic artwork they use. I'm fine with the cover artwork on this. I don't hate it. It says National Lampoons on the back, talks about it here, talks about that you do get a Movies Anywhere digital copy code in this as well. That's the 4K version. You can redeem that as well if you do use digital services. Now, when you get inside here, you do get a Blu-ray disc. I did exclusively test both discs. Got some great news for all of you worldwide. Through that link I've posted down below, you can import this anywhere worldwide. You can buy it in the US, Canada, through that link from Amazon. It ships anywhere. Both discs are 100% region free. So no matter where you live worldwide, you can watch either of the discs and you can play them on any player worldwide because they didn't region lock either disc. Now, on the Blu-ray disc though, I do have a slight downside. This is the original 2015 Blu-ray disc. They did not put the new 4K scan dumbed down with the new color grading onto the Blu-ray. That is the old 2015 Blu-rays, the same Blu-ray you get in this. The 4K is the one that has the new 4K scan, color grading, HDR, all of that. That is only contained on the 4K Ultra HD disc. And I do kind of wish they would have used different cover art, and here's why. It is really hard, at least for me and my vision, to see sometimes the difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K. There's a slight little symbol here and a slight little symbol there. You kind of have to turn it the right way to see what it is. The discs look so similar. At first I was like, did I get two of the same disc? Would have been nice to get some different artwork, especially at least on the 4K to differentiate it more, but I guess that's me just nitpicking. Now, it does contain all of the special features from the previous Blu-ray release in 2015. So the nice thing is you do get all the special features. They didn't leave anything out. Overall, the audio mix and the audio sound on this was so much better on that new remastered audio mix that was a nice and healthy improvement, that the details and clarity on that was so much better than the previous Blu-ray that was a big one up over the 2015 as well. Now, image-wise, it was a nice, healthy improvement over the 2015 Blu-ray as well. The details and clarity that they were able to draw out, even though the way it was filmed, is substantially improved on this. Now, I do wish it would have had a healthier bit rate because I think that would have even helped the image a lot more. But overall, the image is still an improvement over the 2015 Blu-ray quite a bit. Now, getting to my review score here, for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, this gets a great 9.3. This is one I recommend buying and adding to your collection, regardless of what the previous Blu-ray edition you own of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This one is such a nice improvement in every area that you won't really ever want to watch any of those before, though you do get the 2015 Blu-ray in here anyway, so if you wanted to, you get it anyways to watch, but you're going to watch that 4K disc because it is such a nice improvement that I couldn't believe how amazing the Christmas lights and the overall skin tones, and there's so many red scenes in here where they're wearing red sweaters or Christmas jackets or the red Christmas lights or things like that. Man, I've never seen the red look that good ever before, and I was really blown away with how good the colors looked overall. There wasn't any blocking. There wasn't any digital noise issues that were present on some of the 2015 Blu-ray. Those were all gone. The overall improvement of what they were able to draw out of this image with the details while still retaining all the original film grain looked really good, especially with that stability. So overall, a 9.3 is a great review score. This is one I recommend picking up and adding to your collection, especially if you've noticed the improvements in the details of the images above when you're looking at those native images. Man, they did a nice job with this one, and I was pleasantly surprised and happy because this is a film, to be honest with you, it's a Christmas film that every year my family and I go back and revisit every single year. Especially if you're like my family that goes back and revisits these Christmas films every year. We really get our mileage out of these films, and it's nice to see it the best way this has ever looked. And this truly is the best looking I feel like Christmas Vacation has ever looked on home video. That it's such a nice upgrade over the previous Blu-ray that it was worth spending the money, and the price for this is a great price. I think Warner Brothers did a good price on this, not releasing it at $35, $40. So I posted that link down there in the description section below. If you're wanting to pick up and buy this now after watching my review, make sure to use that link I've posted down below. That always helps to support this YouTube channel just a little bit, but it never costs you a penny extra, and it's always on sale for the same prices everywhere through those links. I have some other Christmas surprises coming up here soon. Now make sure to start the conversation in the comment section below. Let me know how much you and your family loves this film, or how many times you watch this film. Let me know if you're excited now that you've seen how the upgrade is, if this is something you're excited to buy and pick up now and add to your collection. Make sure to start that conversation down in the comment section below. I always love to hear from all of you. Make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you enjoy all the hard work and the time I put into every one of these exclusive comparison reviews, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. That is the best way possible to support this YouTube channel and support the creation of these videos. As most of you know, these take me anywhere between 3 to 4 days to create every single one of these comparison videos. And the only way I can always do this is with all of your support. So make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. It costs you less than a couple of dollars, less than the price of a cup of coffee, but it makes a world of difference to my YouTube channel for me to be able to keep doing this full time and creating all this content that all of you love and enjoy watching. So make sure to support this YouTube channel by joining my Collectors VIP Club or giving a super thanks through the super thanks button down below. You can always give a tip of a couple of bucks every single video. That helps out. Next up, I'm going to be doing Elf, the brand new 4K Ultra HD release. Now, this should be coming out here roughly about 2 or 3 days before the release of National Lampoons. And then this one should be coming about a day or so after that. I got these in about a week early, and I've been working hard on getting all these done for all of you. So I'm trying to go through all these Christmas movies and do all of my testing and analysis to give you all this data so you know what to buy or what to skip. But Elf will be coming up next, so make sure to subscribe and look forward to this one. I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new and very exciting coming out very soon.